Hi. Hi, Regina. Okay, all right, Kobe. Let's go. Let's do this. Oh, hi, Nelson. Hi. Hi, can you hear me?
How are you?
How
Yes, I
are
can
you?
hear you well. Very good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Very happy to connect with you. Very
I
exciting.
know. I know. Oh, I see some people coming on. This is so fun.
Of course. And it's Friday, which I feel every day feel like Friday, right?
Oh, every day. I've forgotten. I've lost track on my days.
I need to remind myself every day which day is it, especially when I go into social media and I'm like, okay, I need to remind myself which day is what anyway. Very happy to connect with you because I feel like it's always the best way of connecting with all of my customers that I miss so much. I mean, to me, especially in the last 2 months, is basically the time that I spend a lot of time touring all the stores all over the country. And basically, when it's all started, I just came back from Paris, from Paris Fashion Week.
Right. Wow.
I still was one of these naive designers that thought that everything is okay, and I just kind of like came back to New York, and I realized that it's a different day, and everything
Wow.
immediately. So all my trip to everywhere, to Florida, to LA, to Chicago, Dallas, everywhere was basically canceled, and
Yeah.
it's like there's so much beauty in what we're dealing with right now. I love the time of I love being able to spend time at home with my girls and do
Right.
my design process here and have them part of it. But if
Right.
there's something I miss the most is actually missing my customer and miss the
Mhm.
connection with them and being able to be with them. That's to me always the most inspiring part.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a crazy time for everybody, and like you said, being able to have that people connection, it's really difficult at this time.
Yeah, but you see, we find a creative way of connecting in a different way, and I think
Well,
that
right, exactly. I mean, Zoom is everywhere. Are your daughters, because they're younger, are they doing classes online?
yeah, I just allow myself for a second to step into the room and tell my youngest one that I'm going to be live. So can you please just don't scream or don't do what you usually? Um, the answer was not so good. She was like, "I'm in the middle of a test. Can you please?" So and they are,
And
they
I
are.
know I have to put like the do not disturb sign as well. But I think that's everybody, who's home and who has other people in their house. We're all trying to make it work.
Right. Again, I think for me, it's more focusing on the positive side. And again, to me, I feel like I'm in this fashion journey for 21 years since 21, yeah, since I moved
Mhm.
here. And, I was kind of like so busy and just basically running to go after my dreams and, in this like journey. And even when my daughter was born, the next day I was already in the studio, working.
Wow.
I feel like this was basically a gift, to stop. And I
Mhm.
don't stop my creativity because I still at home and actually I switch my dining room into my studio so I can actually keep creating. But I definitely have quality time of being with my
Mhm.
daughters and kind of like really basically see who they are. And it's amazing me how
Right.
I think we did a good job. I don't know how come, but they're amazing. So it's
Yeah.
very inspiring to see your children.
Oh, Nina says stay creative and positive. I think we are all trying to do that. And like you said, this is like a moment of pause with everybody and everyone just rethinking how what to do and how it's going to move forward. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, are you thinking about your next line or are you just like putting a pause on it?
I don't know what it's mean. I don't pose is not part of my DNA. I don't even understand what it's mean.
'Cause,
So,
like I've talked to some other designers and they're just unsure. You know what I mean? Like they had sketches and now they are not sure how to move forward. Will those designs be well perceived or should they change it all?
So, I feel like I think it's important to always doubt yourself and always to kind of like really understand what's happening outside and to feel it and to affect what you do. But, I believe that for me as a brand, from the beginning, I feel like I have a very special connection with my customers. I think that I understand her needs. And and I feel like that to me, it's more about like, first of all, I didn't stop for a second. The opposite. I think I'm more creative than ever. Again, just to kind of like, one second, let me, I'm like sitting here right now in my living room, and basically everything here is all my inspiration boards, and
Wow.
it's kind of like all of what's happening for the next season, and like I'm getting all my samples and I'm starting to kind of, so basically nothing stopped. I actually got all my next line already into my apartment, and business is, I feel like that to me, the idea is more about keep analyzing what's the customer. I feel like being at home, I think there's a comfort level that you kind of like really enjoy, but in the same time, we love fashion and we love to get dressed. And I think it's not about necessarily going crazy, but it's about, I believe that I always communicate with this woman that celebrating getting dressed every day. And honestly, I believe after everything that we went through, this kind of like needs for celebration will be even stronger because, it's part of life. So I'm not saying that fashion is the most important thing. Don't get me wrong, but I think fashion, it's something that's allowing us to bring the best of ourselves. And for me as a fashion designer, I enjoy to see the woman that I'm dressing and kind of like taking care of her, how she brings the best of herself, and I'm just like allowing her to do it. So I think that for me, definitely being more comfortable, but I think that's what our job is. How do we make
Right.
chic and elegant? The
Right.
only
Well, I think you're utilizing your time wisely, and I think a lot of people are like, you're not looking at the glass half empty, you're looking at it half full, and you're like, let me like you have all this creativity, and I love your Pinterest for, like have you have all these visuals, and I think like that's for everybody out there, regardless of what you're doing. Like, let's visualize, let's think about it, because when we are over with this, we are going to be out and we want to celebrate and we want to look fabulous.
I just think
So,
making decisions, and my job is to make her choose me. I believe that it's about giving her the right value and giving her something really emotional that she wants to have in her closet, and it's going to brighten her day and going to make her smile. And I think that that's the connection. That's what we do together. It's about like dressing a woman and making her just feel beautiful. And it's not always about fashion. It's simply about making yourself feel beautiful.
beautiful. Well, I mean, and that's what I try, working as a stylist, and that's what I try to convey in my clients. Like, looking, when you wear something, it really changes how your whole attitude is. Do you know what I mean? So it's so important to find pieces, and you have a beautiful collection that resonates and creates that, feeling of confidence and feeling beautiful.
I think it's also about it's about feeling connected, and I feel like everything that I create, it's not just about being part of a story. It's always about my travel, always about my own heritage. So it's about this combination, and I feel like that in the end of the day, when you're looking at the clothes and when you're trying them on, you have this kind of like nostalgic feeling, and it doesn't matter where you're coming from. We all are. There is a common thread that we are all
Right.
connected as a human, and I feel like when you feel like part of a story, it's make you feel good. And I feel like for sure, maybe there's too much clothes out there, for sure. But I feel
Right.
like it's to kind of like really reassess what you do and do it the best. And
Right.
and I feel like with our brand, I feel it's like you can always find the most beautiful blouse, and that you can actually get this blouse and wear it daytime, wear it for evening. And I think this is what I love about I was looking at your Instagram again before we start talking, and I realized that it's you as a woman is inspiring to me because that's what I admire. I love that women's play.
Thank you. I'm like, I feel so grateful. Thank you.
No, but I feel like that women allow and should feel confidence to play different role. You don't need to be like one in the fashion in the past used to be like, oh, this is my style, this is my look, and I'm going to look like that every day. Why? You're allowed to
Right.
wake up every morning and feel great about yourself. And you know
Yeah.
what? about me. It's not about impressing anybody else. It's about feeling great about myself. And today I want to be sexy, and the other day I want to be sporty and casual, and and dressy. It's like it's okay if I
Right.
can the right element and the right ingredients that you can put it together. And again, for you, especially as a stylist, you can take the same blouse and wear it with your
Mhm.
jeans. It's great, and wear it back to your sneakers, or you wear it
Yeah.
back to any of your beautiful pants, and you are great going for a dinner at night, hopefully soon, or just wearing it at home. It's fine. It's okay. You can have
Absolutely.
your boyfriend, partner, whatever it is. You can have a Zoom meeting and you need to put a beautiful blouse. But again, I'm just using blouse as an example. I think it's about every category. I think but again, I feel I'm
Mhm.
concerned because I want everybody to start getting out of their sweatpants. I think
Yeah.
that it's okay. We allow you guys to do it for a while. It's time to move on.
It
Unless you
starts. Yes.
exercise. Yeah, unless you're doing some exercise, use your gym clothes. Otherwise, guys, come on, let's get dressed again.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe in that too. We have to get out of our loungewear and get dressed and feel like human, like get into a routine. You know what I mean? Especially now that things are opening up and depending upon where you are in the world or in the country, people are moving a little bit more. Of course, wearing your mask and being, cautious and being safe, but we are starting to get out there. So look good while you're doing it.
It's a human nature. I don't think we have any other choice. And, I feel like, of course, we want to do the right things. I'm very motivated and very inspired by what I see in other countries. We need to do the
Mhm.
right things. We need to kind of like be very careful and very responsible. But in the same time, we also need to respect the fact that, we have the urge of being together and might be a little bit different, but I think that we should kind of like celebrate that and do it in the right way. We all deserve it.
Definitely. So like I picked up like how you said, a lot of what inspires you through your travels. And I also, I follow you and I've seen, you've done amazing shoots like all around the world. India, Japan. I mean, are those places where you draw inspiration? Because I mean, I know you wear black a lot, but yet your clothing doesn't reflect that at all.
Right. I just realized that, and sometimes I feel like, let me be honest with you, don't share it with anybody else. I not always wear black. So I used to be very, back in the day, just a few years ago. But I feel like when you're surrounded with so much colors and, I like to kind of like almost be the blank canvas to kind of like not interact with what I do and what I create. So even when
Right.
you look at Instagram, I love the fact that I'm always black because I want the attention to be about the product, about the woman that I'm trying to dress. And first of
Mhm.
all, I will take it as a compliment because one of my biggest, or maybe the only hobbies that I have besides my job that I consider it my hobby, and I'm very lucky this way, I love to take pictures. So all of these images that you see, I take them by myself. So I just
Wow.
love that it's amazing for me to be able to kind of like like really kind of like create this magical moment, and it's not
Mhm.
plain. So it's very like it's a magic
Okay.
moment that's happening between the
Mhm.
product, and the inspiration, and beside my own heritage, I always like to kind of like plan my business trips mixed together with inspiration trip, and
Yeah.
basically I feel so lucky, especially in these days when it's not possible to
Mhm.
travel. I feel so lucky to be able to do it because it's authentic, it's real, and it's not, it's hard to explain. But you mentioned about India, which was 3 days in Jaipur. That honestly, I
Yeah.
never in my life have been so blown away and so inspired. I felt like a kid in a candy shop. Like I basically
Wow.
like surrounded with so much tradition and beauty and respect. And again, and I feel like especially in these days, and I don't want to talk politics, yes, but I feel like the most important thing is to be respectful. And I love to kind of like be invited or allow myself to be invited into other cultures and being
Mhm.
very respectful for them, to understand their base, because they are
Mhm.
very similar to everybody,
Right.
but very respectful for that and drawn inspiration from there. So India for me was magical. And then I went to Tokyo and mostly Kyoto for the next collection that I'm now. And I wanted to kind of like feel, I want to feel the inspiration. I wanted to kind of like understand the tradition, the minimalism in a way, but with all of this beauty. And I can't wait to share with you what I do, because basically I was able to bring back so much, and it's always what I like to do. I like to bring pieces of history and
Right.
recreate them in a contemporary way. So I brought with me like antique kimonos and antique textiles, and that's what I do all the time. And I feel like this is like where, it's about preparing and putting together all of these ingredients that helping you to put the color palettes and the prints and the embroideries, and then I start sketching into it. This collection that I'm working right now, I was not able to travel, and basically this is where I was like, okay, if I can't travel, where would I would like to go with my imagination? And then I chose to go to Africa, and I start kind of like really looking at all of the inspiration, and I was kind of like just really was admiring all the colorations and the kind of like, painting and the movement of the African textiles. And basically that's kind of like where you can already see the beginning of the process of working all the prints. And again, like, it's very magical, but that's why I'm excited the most, about how it's all coming to life. And again, I said, okay, physically I cannot go, but there's nothing that can stop me visually from going. And I basically start mixing it all together, and it was amazing. And my biggest treasure is my books at home. And basically I took all the inspiration from there, and I realized how I can mix the different type of culture together. And if they can sit well on my window with all the books, they can also sit well together on a rack in the stores. So I'm very excited. Again, to me, I feel like, and that's where I'm trying to also inspire my team as a company, as a brand. I feel like, many people are paralyzed. Many people are scared because it's a very unknown. I think part of my personality, and I like to kind of like take example from the past. We all went through some challenges, September 11, many crises that we all went through. And I think that if you're looking at it as an opportunity to push yourself and to kind of like be even more inspired and to take responsibility as a leader, I believe that there is actually an opportunity there. And I'm trying to keep this passion, the way I talk to you, the way I talk to my customer, the way I talk to our retail partners. Everybody's going through difficulties right now.
Absolutely.
They know when they're speaking to Kobi or the Kobi Halperin brand, there's passion there. So I feel like, and again, this is like something that we can't be spoiled. We need to do what we know how to do, and we need to kind of like bring this positivity. And that's what I was excited also to talk to you, because I feel like everybody's looking for this right now. Everybody's looking for the...
Absolutely. And like just listening to you, I mean, I'm sure everybody else, like I'm feeling the passion. I'm feeling excited, I want to see that creativity. I can't wait. It's a good thing. And I thank you for your honesty and feeling so vibrant about it.
So for
And
sure, let's mark our calendar. September market, you will come to our show, and we're going to play together.
yeah,
Put
absolutely.
all together. I think it's, again, to me, this is like where the magic is happening, when all the product is coming together. And, you can see, I feel like that one of the things that I enjoy the most is basically, create pieces that have a connection, and there's almost like a thread that's connecting them together. So, visually, first of all, you want to be able to look at the collection. You want to look at the rack of clothes together. And even if there's 5 prints or 10 prints, they all look beautiful together. And there is by
And
the...
yeah. Yeah,
By
no,
the
you put it all so well together. And I love, talk to us a little bit about like how, like, I mean, your details. I mean, on your blouses, I mean, on the bottoms of your pants. Like, tell me a little bit about your details.
So I'm a little bit obsessed with detail, and I feel like to me, before I even like just take a page of paper and start sketching a silhouette, to me it's always starting with the details. I'm obsessed with it, and it's coming from a very honest and humble point of view. The truth is, we lost something during the years. When you're looking at everything we're doing today, it's so much better than the past. But when it's coming to clothes and fashion, we lost something. The craftsmanship, of what clothes used to mean in the past, and also the fact that women or people choose one or two dresses, and it's need to say so much about them. So I feel like everything became so much more technical and so much more computerized. That's great, but we lost something. So for me, it's like it's always starting with my passion to craftsmanship. Again, it's also my East European background. I was born into it. Like I was always admiring the laces and the embroideries and this type of things that really kind of like gets me excited. So every collection that I'm starting is basically, first of all, focusing on the details, and then next I'm working on the shapes. And I think that you can feel it in the clothes. And again, to me, it's like I'm trying to feel as a designer, not as me, as a male designer. I'm trying to think about how does it feel when you're putting it on? And I think that magic moment, it's hard to explain. And I don't want to share it with too much designer because then it's going to, I don't want
Yeah,
to.
there's quite a few designers I know watching.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. I think it's about this moment that you're putting something on, and if you can play with the details on the cuff, if you can play with the beautiful tassel, if you can look at the details, it makes you feel good. Again, it's simply the same things. And the truth is, when you're doing something simple, you can buy it, and women's smart confidence, they know they can buy it everywhere. So I need to make you feel good about spending the money. I need to make you feel, I hate the guilt. So I never want any of my customers to feel guilty spending the clothes on what I do. I see one of my stores from Dominican Republic. Oh, it's so sweet. Anyway, I feel like it's about this kind of like confidence of like, you know what? This is the Kobi blouse. I bought it. I love it. And look at its amazing qualities. And the truth is, you're wearing it a year after another, and it's never feel like LY, like last year. It always feel relevant. I think that's kind of like where you feel smart and you feel good about spending the money.
You are also, I mean, your clothing is sustainable, and I think that's like a movement people are really, that's like been a real big topic um, for a long time. I think now with this kind of lockdown, even more so, like being sustainable, and I think that's been a big
Right.
conversation, and you're definitely part of that.
It's a different take because there's a different and there's the obvious way of doing it. But I think also the idea of giving the customer something really good that can be with them many years, it's part of this movement. And I'm proud of that because that's to me the right way to go.
Right, right. Well, and I mean, that's so true. And your clothing is so timeless. I mean, I feel like, like you said, I mean, I could have bought something 5 years ago and wear it today, and I don't think people would really know. I think they would know it's a Kobe because you definitely have certain details, and you can tell, oh, this, each designer, you can tell what is their trademark. And I can definitely pinpoint what your trademark is with your details.
I appreciate that because one of my biggest goal when we started my brand is basically about like I'm not a big believer about big logos. Like I mean,
Hmm.
I respect it, but
Right.
it's I like and I love. But to me, it's more about like how can I create product that without looking at the label, it's Kobe.
Hmm.
And what you're saying right
Right.
now, biggest compliment because that's what I'm trying to achieve. Like this attention to details and the qualities there.
Hmm.
I believe you can recognize it's a Kobe product without seeing the logo, and I think that's something that make the woman that's wearing it a star. It's not about me. It's not about my name. It's not about really focusing on you know on the customer that's wearing it and make her the hero.
Yeah, well, I mean, so you definitely have a distinct style. So yes, you don't have to have a big logo, saying that you are the designer because your clothing says it speaks to itself. You know what I mean? It says it. And so I wanted to ask you, where did you come like for clothing and designing? I know you have a very fashionable mother. Was your mom in the garment district at all, or?
Actually, it's interesting because, first of all, just in case she's hearing me right now, it's all about my mom. I don't want to get,
Hi. Hi,
I don't,
Mom.
I don't want to get wrong. So let's first of all start with the fact that it's all about my mom. So,
It
but
is. Okay.
interesting because I basically coming from a very interesting background. Like I grew up as a Orthodox Jewish boy in Israel. So
Mhm.
I wasn't really exposed to fashion in a specific way, but it's interesting. And that's what, either you have it or not. Like since I
Mhm.
was a child, I was really obsessed with this kind of like, aesthetic part. So it's starting with our home, and then actually with my mother, with the way she's got dressed. So yes, it is about my mother. And it's interesting because, even with like, I used to wear yarmulke, and I used to have
Mhm.
yarmulke every colors and every design that matched the clothes I was wearing. So I didn't even know that fashion exists, to be honest. It's only when I was 13 years old and I went to a fashion designer with a sketch and my mom that I drew, and I realized that actually fashion designer it's a job. You can make a living from it. I was almost 13 years old, and I was like, okay, Kobi, this is what I want to do for life. Like I didn't even know it exists. And I remember the moment he opened the fabric, it was like
Mhm.
honestly like a Disney movie. I
Yeah.
saw the sparkles and I knew that this is what I want to do. I still have a little bit of debate because I always wanted to be a psychologist. And guess
Mhm.
what? I chose to be a fashion designer, but I found myself more a psychologist than a fashion designer
Well,
because
yes, absolutely. I mean, you have to think about what the woman wants to wear, right? And how to make her feel.
so that's one aspect, and the other aspect, it's also a business, and you need to work with many people. You need to work with many people, team, and you need to kind of like be sensitive, but you also need to kind of like really understand. And I think this kind of like sensitivity, I think it's the most important things. I'm mentoring and I'm working with many young designers, and I'm still going back. Unfortunately, this year I won't be able to go, but I go back every year for the last 12 years back to where I graduated fashion in Israel. And in purpose, I go there to like work with the student that just graduated. And to me, it's
Um,
also giving back, but it's also getting back and kind of like see how the young generation think and what inspired them. And it's always important for me to say that, it's not just about being talented. That's for sure important. But the most
mhm.
important thing is about being a good person and have this kind of like skills of how to work with people, how to respect people, and how to kind of like, and I think that, and to be smart. And because again, our industry becoming more and more challenging. We need to be creative, but we need to be very smart with the way we're doing things. And this is where I still feel like a student. I'm learning every day, and I'm trying to do the best as I can.
Right, right. Well, and I think that's great that you give back, mentoring however you can, because that makes you feel good. And like you said, it keeps you motivated and see what these young students, what they're learning and what they're doing. And they learn from somebody like the master themselves.
So that sounds good, but the real thing is going back every year to school. So I actually didn't graduate yet. So I feel young forever. So that's the trick. I'm still a student. That's the trick. So
Oh my God. Wow. So see, you don't always have to have a degree to be successful. That's for sure.
yeah, of course, I finished school there, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
just the way that it's like just a way of feeling young because you're going back every year. You're
Back-
going back to school, so you're still there.
Right.
So
Yes.
although here we are 21 years after, I'm still a student, so it's make you feel young.
It feels great. So your showroom is in New York City,
Yeah.
right?
My
Okay.
showroom is the world. As you expressed before, I love the fact that I can present my clothes all over the world. And we always presenting in Paris, in London, but every time when I go somewhere, I
Mhm.
take a Kobi Halperin hanger, and I'm taking the clothes with me.
You carry everything.
But some of them, and basically, for me, the images that you saw from India, the images that you saw from Kyoto, it's like it's a magical moment. I know I'm going to go to the Golden Pavilion, whatever, and I'm like basically bring with me two items, and I create these amazing images. And that's to me like it's amazing because it's an opportunity to share with our audience um, a story. And again, I feel like social media, you know, we all part of it. We all obsess with Instagram. I spend so much time. I do everything by myself. So, you know, I have support from my team, but I post, I comment, I do everything. It's an opportunity for me to really communicate and connect with our customers and connect with all of the people in the stores all over the country. It's huge. It's such a magic tool because even if I'm not in the stores, I'm actually communicating on a daily basis with everybody that somehow are connected with my product. So it's an amazing thing. But I think they deserve to get a very authentic and very inspiring. So hopefully I'm doing a good job. I'm trying very hard to give them beautiful content that inspire them and explain also the vision of the brand.
Right, right. Well, I mean, you know, like you said, your Instagram account, I mean, it just flows beautifully, like with the models and how they're dressed. I mean, the story that you tell, it's just so beautiful and it's so like realistic. Like, you know, any woman can wear that. It's not just for the red carpet. Like I can wear that for a day to day. So I love that, your versatility in your outfits.
I appreciate it. That's the point. And I feel like, again, to me, I believe that that's part of the maturity in a way. It's about like,
Mhm.
it's not about trying to impress. And I feel it's about making the woman that's wearing it feel great. And she doesn't need
Right.
to have necessarily a red carpet event to feel the way
Mhm.
she deserves to feel when she
Right.
wakes up in the morning.
Right.
And
No.
and that's when you talked about the details. Again, I love the idea of like bringing evening details into every day because I think that's what feels to me modern. That's what feels to me right. Like you don't need an event. You can actually waking up in the morning. It's an event by itself, and it's a reason to sell. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no reason why not to wear something with such beautifulness, you know, to do your day-to-day things. It's absolutely you're so true with that. So now what do you think about Fashion Week moving forward? Do you think, I mean, what's the conversation that you've heard? Are they going to think about doing something but limiting people? What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, I think that we first of all have responsibility from a business point of view to do what's right for the business. We all know that Fashion Week have a lot of expense attached to it. So for me, it is very important to be very sensitive. I think the main focus should be right now about delivering the right product to the customer
Mhm.
right time. And I think that's
Right.
what I love the movement that's happening right now because I think we're going to see more and more product that is relevant for the time that you're shipping it. And it's a
Right.
question I always asked 20 years ago. I didn't understand the calendar of fashion here in America, in the whole world, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think
Right.
that's the shift that we're going to see. I think we
Mhm.
all want immediate satisfaction. You're going to the
Right.
stores now, you want to see product that you can buy it now and wear it now. You don't want
Right.
to wait 3 months. So I think what we're going to see, it's more about shifting of type of product. And
Mhm.
you know, I think it's going to be interesting. I need to be honest. Like I prefer to spend time one-on-one with editors, with stylists in my showroom. I'm proud about what I have to show, and I would love them to touch it. When you're trying to condense everything into 1 week, when this
Mhm.
week happening, 1 week in New York, then
Right.
London, sorry, then London, then Paris,
Paris and Milan.
and then men's fashion week, and then couture. It's like I'm supposed to make these people enjoy, and
Mhm.
instead of that, we create a chaos that it's impossible. So I believe that maybe it's time to take a little bit of a different approach and find
Mhm.
quality approach, and
Right.
maybe people, but the right people, and let them really experience and see your brand and see who you are, and
Right.
that's kind of what I'm trying to do. You know, you can't do it all, but you need to do what's right for yourself, and you
Mhm.
also sensitive from a budget and you know, and the whole business point.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely, I've seen that it's definitely like you just said. I think there's some designers and they're trying to see how many more people they can get on board to like you just said, like it's summertime. If you want to buy a summer collection, you can find the summer collection. Like you don't want to have to wait months to, you know what I mean? When it's fall, like you don't want to go in the summer, find a winter coat when it's not winter. So I think that's the big conversation too, like having clothing available when it's the season.
Exactly. And on top of it also, think about it. Like, we want to create the excitement when the
Mhm.
product is available to
Right.
buy. I believe that what's happening, and that's part of social media,
Right.
excuse me, on Instagram, etc., is that the fact that, you're seeing it in the runway, you're seeing it on
Mhm.
celebrities, and when your customer is ready to wear it, it feels old.
Right.
So there's a problem here. And I feel like
Exactly.
you as a stylist, like you're seeing it on the runway, and then a few
Mhm.
celebrities are able to wear it. And when you see suddenly a dress on the floor 4 months later, it's like,
Right.
this is from last year? Like, it
Right.
makes sense.
That's such a great point, and but it's so true because you're confused, but it's really because of the production, and you have, and I understand. I mean, there it does go, the editors need things like when they're shooting for a magazine, they do it 3 months out, and vice versa. But I guess there's just gonna have to be a conversation on how to change everything.
Right. And again, for me, I honestly chose not to be part of this game necessarily because I feel like
Mhm.
it's an expensive game. And
Mhm.
to be honest, it's also like something that's more dealing with your ego than
Mhm.
your business side. And for me, it's
Right.
about like, how can I put all my effort in get my customer excited when they're seeing the product on the floor? How can I make them excited about that? So I feel like, again, I'm using all the tools that I
Mhm.
have to do it. And I think that's the right way for me. I believe it's the right way to anybody that is in
Mhm.
fashion business. Uh,
Yeah.
we'll see what's happening with some of the big, European brands. God bless them. I admire everything that they have to do, but they also have millions of dollars of money to spend on PR, which, let's be
Right.
honest, the customer is paying for it in the end.
Right.
So I
Exactly.
prefer to give my customer the best value of product that I can and make her feel.
Mhm.
I think in these days is more relevant than ever. So, again, we're going to keep talking and we will see what's going to happen. But to be honest, I didn't need to wait for the coronavirus to get into this kind of like point of view. I had this point of view when I started. I feel like I lucky enough to. I worked for many other brands, not many, but a few other brands before I started my own brand. And and I feel like we all have been part of an industry that the challenges are very clear.
Right.
I choose to take the best part of it and to focus on
Mhm.
the beauty and the passion that I have, and the part that can get you very negative. I prefer to do it in a different way. And
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, I need to get the love. I am addicted to love, and I'm
Right.
getting it from my customer. And I think that that's to me much more important than getting it from editors. Of course, they are important and they are inspiring
Absolutely.
people, but I need to have a reason to exist, and it's starting always with my customers, and that's why doing what we're doing.
That's great. That's great to know. Like, I love that you have that connection with your customer because, like you said, I think some brands have kind of lost sight of that as well. Do you know what I mean? And
The more,
they focus
I,
focusing like on the influencers, who a lot of these influencers don't necessarily really get people buying your product. They just look good on their pictures. So I think it's really great that you're wanting to connect more one-on-one with the customer.
I will make it even more extreme. You will be surprised, but many of designers and fashion houses don't like their customer. And the reason that I created my own brand is because I love my customer and I'm connected to her and I'm committed to her and she can rely on me. And I think that there's nothing more upsetting than finding a brand that you like and then you
Right.
come suddenly next season, oh, this is not for me. It's you can't do it to your customers. You can't disappoint her because then you lost her. So,
Mhm.
me, it's like, I have been for many years in this business to realize that the most important thing is to find the customer that you love and make her
Right.
feel this way. And I know that when the customer that's buying Kobi Halperin, she feels
Mhm.
the love and she
Right.
feels somebody really know her. And that's
Yeah.
to me the most important things. And that's where I'm going to spend the most of my time because she deserves it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So where can people find your clothing? I know you're in the major department
Yeah.
stores. Where else?
So we are available in every Neiman Marcus stores, in every Saks Fifth Avenue stores, in every Bloomingdale stores. We are available in Bird of Goodman online. We're available in ShopUp, Tootsie's, and many other stores. So, you know, for me, again, like I'm proud that in a very short time, 5 years basically in the stores, we have been able to create a great present. I think it's always starting with the stores that believe in me and my team, and the customer is voting. So I feel like, again, to me, that's very exciting, and it's just the beginning. So it's a great beginning, but obviously we're working on many other things. We're working on international right now. We already are in many of the stores overseas, but my main focus and the team focus was, first of all, being important here in America.
Right, right. Well, I mean, for somebody who just put your name on your label 5 years ago, I definitely feel you're on the map. I mean, people do recognize your name. And like I said, they recognize your style. I can tell a Kobi Halperin outfit when I see it. You know what I mean? So you definitely, in 5 years, you've come a long way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And just imagine if they all see my blue eyes, how much the connection can be stronger.
So, like, do you think your daughters will want to go into fashion at all, or do they have the
So,
fashion bug? You see it?
so it's interesting. The Mika, she's like 14, and basically she's like, I'm not willing to work for you and being in fashion, but I'm going to promote you through my TV show.
Okay.
So that's one. So no fashion, but I will do a favor for you and I will promote you. So I guess I'm to be thankful for that. And Gali, I think she's definitely have it. She have the patience, she have the creativity, she's
Hmm.
drawing, sketching all the time. So she's definitely want to be part of design. She's not interested working for me. She would like to take over. I'm quoting.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like not working for you, taking over. So we'll see what's happened. But I think that definitely something in design. Right now, she's like, it's amazing. Every day she wants to be an interior designer. So every day she's just basically decorating rooms, everything on the computers. You know, this generation is just fascinating because they're doing everything on the computer. And I'm like, oh my God, how did you do it? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, the beauty, they both have been exposed to it from the day they're born. So
Hmm.
it's amazing to be able. And again, my wife is involved in the business. So we basically, we're spending the majority of our time to this work, which doesn't feel like work. It's our passion. It's our
So your wife must be lucky. She gets to wear all your beautiful designs, and you might say, you know, and I'm sure you feed off of her as well sometimes. Like, oh, how do you like this? Do you think this is inspiring as well?
darling. I don't need to ask. I'm getting I'm getting the feedback and the criticism on a daily basis. Okay, so don't get confused
Yes,
about that.
yes.
But
Well, you know, that's us women. What can I tell you? Sorry
she
about that.
she know much better. I'm just a fashion designer. What do I know? She know better. But the truth is, she does. Sagit, you know, she's very involved. She's working with me for 20 years, also in all the other companies, and she's
Mhm.
in charge of all of our stores all over the country. And
Wow.
somebody met Sagit. It's a day
Mhm.
they're not never going to forget because the way she connects with customers, it's something that I never saw. She basically know how to, like, you know, she look at you and she know exactly what's right for you. And as you know, most of the time people choosing the wrong things for themselves, and
Right.
somebody with strong personality, I guess like you, to tell them
Mhm.
maybe not. Let me show
Right.
you this, and that's what's going to work for you. And then
Right.
the magic is happening. So, you know, again, for me, I it's the most important thing is to get as much as possible feedback from the field. You know,
Mhm.
that's what Sagit does for 20 years. She's all over the country, always traveling all over, working with customers, working with the stores. And again, it's all about also, you know, a training, but also sharing the passion and sharing the story. You know, for
Right.
me, it's very important that everybody that is connected to the Kobi Halperin brand and selling
Mhm.
also can tell a little bit more than just, oh, it's a beautiful blouse. I would
Right.
like them to be tell what the inspiration. So we're putting a lot of effort into it. And as I mentioned before, there's nothing that gets me more inspired than coming at 8 o'clock in the morning to any of the stores, rolling my sleeve, no red carpet, and just basically preparing the chairs for everybody. Sit, let's talk. And
Right.
basically, you know, I feel like I'm, you know, it's that's what I keep saying, even about the, the coronavirus. Like, our industry was not easy before. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. Maybe we needed something dramatic as the coronavirus to shut it all off, to restart and reopen, but to open it in a positive way and kind of like let all the bitter people go away and let's focus on the positive side. And I think that, again, to me, I that's what I love. I love to put my sparkle on people and kind of like share with them the story, the inspiration, and you see that they are, they can laugh, they can, I know we like to wear black in fashion, but we always need to remember that the best accessories is the smile, and that's what we all need to put on people, especially in these days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In this time we definitely need to. And just one final thing, I do like how your clothing though speaks to women of all ages. Do you know what I mean? Like you can be in your 20s and you can also be like 60s and 70s and wear your I don't feel like there isn't, you speak to a certain age group at either. Would you agree to that? Like,
Absolutely. I actually, in one of your posts or one of your videos, you focus on ages is number. And I can't agree more. Like, to me, that's kind of like part of the question that I hate the most when people are like, oh, what is like age group is your customer? It's
mhm,
so old fashioned to ask this question. It's not relevant. As I
yeah,
told you before, it's about your mood and which role you want to play this day. I
absolutely.
my product, it's all about mothers and daughters. I love when I'm taking care of mothers and daughters and they are fighting who is going to buy what and who is going to wear what. It's really not relevant. If somebody
Mhm,
has, it's like, to me, it's always the magic that I see girls that are 25, 30, and women that are 60, 50, 70, 80. Who cares? It's really not, it's really about your approach. It's about your attitude. It's about who you are. And
mhm.
that's what I'm proud the most. I love to get compliments about my design. But to me, the most important thing is that women in different ages and different body type
Oh,
feel
yeah.
good,
Yeah,
feel good.
you don't have to be, you're not catering to a skinny mini. I mean, you can be curvy, you can be any type of body type, which I love as well.
That's the magic. That's the way I'm fitting my clothes, and I'm doing it for many,
Mhm.
many years. I feel like, to me, the joy, and again, it's every time when people ask me what's inspiring me, when I'm in the stores, and I can maybe deal with like 50 different women a day when I'm going to do my PA. And it's, and this is a little bit of a criticism, but I think it's important to say, because the one common things that's happening, that it doesn't matter how old they are, it doesn't matter which size they are. Everybody's
Mhm.
like, oh, I gain weight. Oh, it's not for me. Oh, it's not going to fit me. And this is the one thing that I would like to kind of like, I'm fighting back. I was like, honestly, the 5 pound, 10 pound plus minus, it's not going to make the difference. It's about what you feel in the inside.
Exactly.
Put the clothes on, put the right clothes on, and I'm showing them all the half tack, all the styling guidance, whatever it's, and I'm putting it with the right shoes.
Right.
They're looking at the mirror, and you see this big smile,
Mhm.
and that's what's making it. That's what gets me excited. This is the magical moment I keep talking about. And again, she can be size 0, she can be size 16. Nobody
Mhm.
asked me, but I really was focusing with my team to do also size extra, extra large,
Mhm.
size 16, because I feel like that's not big. That's calling it blessed size. It's fine. Like,
Mhm.
it's really not what's making the difference, honestly. And I think that's something that I believe we're making progress and we're going in the right
Mhm.
direction. But yes, I feel like I'm interested in making clothes for women, every age, every size. I want them to feel great about it, and that's the most important things.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. That's like my philosophy. I know now with this whole Corona thing, like you said, some people might be like, "Oh, I've gained some weight," but you know what? There is something for everyone that will make you look great. They just, don't think you need to lose weight. Like, do it now. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So I love the fact that you are ageless, body, no body, there's like you're not gearing towards anybody. It's for everybody, and that's fabulous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, I think we like talked about a lot of great things, right?
I enjoyed very much so, and I feel like this is going to be a great tradition, and hopefully
Mhm.
time we can meet in the stores and we can, this
Yeah,
time.
like once they start, opening up, I'm sure it's going to be slowly. I know, I mean, you and I are close to one another. I'm in northern New Jersey. You're in the city, New York City. But I heard like Connecticut, Greenwich, people are starting to shop.
Yeah.
Fifth Avenue, I heard was open there. And depending upon where other people around the country, that they might have shops open too. So it's progressively slowing, just taking caution.
No, we're going in the right direction, and I think that we're all together in it. And this is not just like a word; it's we need to really feel it and mean it, and to stick together and support each other. And I'm excited for our relationship, and I'm excited about exposed to your customers and your friends. Again,
Yes, definitely.
we're all one big family, and I think that's the most important.
Definitely, yes. So thank you so much,
Oh,
Kobe, for coming on to Sonica Chats, and we had such a great chat. And we will be doing this live in person, God willing, and we'll have a little coffee and everything.
already like a weekend, but have a happy weekend and enjoy your family. I'm so admiring you for the 4 kids, three
Yeah,
boys.
more kids, people, if you didn't know.
Like I'm admiring you for that and look so
Thank
amazing.
you.
I guess,
Thank you.
yeah. So I'm very proud of you and
Yeah, thank you.
so thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. Love your family as well. And we will see each other soon. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.